space in the ceiling.
Okay. Yeah,
walls are real, Seeker.
all these walls are real, and Seeker will kind of inch his way along the wall just so that he can get a good look at the back end of the... Yeah.
Illusion magic.
And each of these tunnels has handholds that goes down into the oubliette.
Poking your head in each one, they look like another vertical shaft, like similar to the one that led down to the oubliette.
And it's like 100 feet.
A couple hundred feet, actually. So if you go to the bottom of it, you're going considerably down below sea level.
And what is in this oubliette again?
Well, which one are you going into? There's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, it's not all the same connected. Okay.
No. An oubliette is just an empty space where it's a prison cell that's not big enough for you to ever move or lay down or stand comfortably.
I'm actually familiar with what an oubliette is because I play Final Fantasy XI.
There you go.
There's an area called, well, whatever.
Oubliette?
This should be illusion magic, but it's not.
It's not.
I want to investigate that tile.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that.
That's a 28.
Tile's solid. Doesn't open, no mechanisms here, but the blood stain on the floor that you can't help but notice, it's old, but it's not ancient. You're thinking, are you trained in medicine at all?
No. But Gus is, so I'll confer with him.
It has to be recent-ish. Gus, would you like to make a medicine check?
Sure.
Well, Florian will climb down.
That is a 16.
A 16?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Had to get a little burpy there. Like I said, the blood is old, but it's not ancient. You don't really have the materials here. Do you have a healer's kit?
No.
Okay. So you don't really have the materials here to do like actual science on it. But yeah, definitely not an ancient bloodstain like you've seen in other places in the complex.
Gus bends over, runs his fingers through it, and licks it.
Lick it?
Yeah.
No, it's just a joke. It's a joke. I don't
Get the mass spectrometer out.
So is Florian climbing down one of these?
Yep.
This one here? How far down do you climb?
Until he gets to the bottom.
And it's a couple hundred feet. It's a long ways down. And when you get down there, you see the metal covering, just like Alexander described. With the slat in the top of it.
While he's doing that, right before my detect magic runs out, I do want to check the back in this tunnel to see if there's more horrible holes that we missed.
Illusion magic.
And I'm sending Scrappy with Seeker.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait here at this tunnel. Yell if anything happens.
If I die, I'll let you know.
Seeker.
I'm yelling at Florian. You've got Scrappy. You're fine.
On your way over there, the Gitzerai calls up to you.
Yeah.
Says, these men need food, a warm bed, and rest.
We already fed them.
Yeah, they've got the food. Wow. One moment, I'm just checking something in this tunnel. It's got a timeout limit on it, and then I'll come back and talk to you.
He nods. Florian, what are you doing down in the pit?
Let's open up that metal thing.
I'm going to put an X on this one since you guys have explored it a little bit. And looking into it, it's empty, just like Alexander described. It's a spherical, like a bubble in the stone. You can climb down into it, but you being a human, like, you can't lay down, you can't stand up in this place. If you were closed into this hole, this would be... you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this might be the most miserable possible way to die.
For the record, Florian is half elf. But
Well, right, but you're about as tall as a human.
What's the other half?
elf.
Makes sense.
I try not to often directly quote fantasy material when I'm running D&D, but there are jail. There are prison cells underneath Casterly Rock that fit a man like armor. Was definitely the inspiration for these oubliettes.
Sure.
Do you think elves call half elves half humans?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Can you toss me a light nail?
Yeah,
Lands in
stand
your
way
forehead.
off
Take
to
a
the
point of
left,
piercing damage.
and I'm gonna actually give you a coin instead of a nail.
I mean, coins
I'll
gonna
drop
hurt.
one of these stone coins from Judalf with a light infusion on it.
Instead of 1 piercing damage, he takes 1 bludgeoning damage.
Florian,
Yeah.
now that you have the coin, you see etch marks in the walls. And you can only imagine what they must have been counting. And you can't see where they start or where they end. They're all around you. If it wasn't for gravity, you wouldn't know which way is up in this place.
My goodness. Okay. And all right. Neat. Let's get out of here before he climbs back up.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a situation where we need to take some closer looks at this place because this is.
There's
Are we going to check all of these before we leave?
in the sewer?
It's a good question. We're going to check all of them.
I mean, so here's the thing. My thought is we have probably 7 hours before we can get up discreetly. So if we can get the Gith and the 2 men to the entrance, I think some of us can come back here and check these. We can also check out, get a better look at those bodies when they're not in the area.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and at this point I've conferred to everyone, we're not letting any light hit the northern half of that chamber while those humans are there.
So
Just
let
so
me
everyone understands
organize
the
the
plan.
thoughts. Step 1 is we're going to take the 3 survivors to the entrance and tell them that they can't leave yet. Is that it?
Someone should stay with them. I can do it if nobody else wants to, because I'm pretty beaten up.
Here's the situation, and Lucius can explain this, that strictly speaking, and he nods to the not Moscap, that we're not supposed to be down here, and if we were to have people coming and going while there's still a watch up there, there would be questions, and we're not done looking here.
So in exactly the time that the watch finishes, when they're changing shifts, this vial of water will be empty. That's when we go up.
Make a persuasion check at advantage when you show them the clock.
Yep.
Okay. I got that.
Take a cigarette.
And while they're having this conversation, Seeger is going to begin casting a ritual over here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That 20 plus a 4 on D20.
Actually, over here.
That's a 32.
You guys, so you have no difficulty persuading these guys, even though the dire straits they're in, even though they've been mistreated badly by cultists very recently, that they can't, even though the exit's right there, but you can't climb out just yet. First of all, you have the Moss Cap down here who can corroborate your story. Second of all, you have saved the Githzerai, who is basically sworn service to Gus, who can kind of take your side. And third of all, you showed him a clock saying this is exactly when we're going to be able to leave safely. And they've also had food. They had water recently. So you're pretty sure you've convinced them they can stay out in the entrance. They're not going to be here for more than a couple more hours. And they're not going to run on you, essentially.
Okay.
Okay.
Well then, I'll come back with you then if we feel like we've convinced them.
Going over the other 3 bodies here, there's not really a lot to find. The old woman, she's wearing like a baker's smock, and it's just very dingy. She's got the same kind of bruises and mild lacerations as the rest of them do. It looks like the cultists have worked her over. Also, she was recently struck by lightning. There's the boy laying there with the gunshot wound, and the nobleman with the Eldritch Blast wounds. But give me one moment, please, so I can look up. He's wearing some finery, and stitched into one part of it is the seal of his house, which is a golden flute encircled by iron on a green field. This is these are the colors of House Von Church. House Von Church controls the Guild of Barrel Makers, And here's the cool thing about House Von Church is right now the head of the house is a woman named Lady Lilnos. And she has a younger brother who refused to get married at his father's insistence and was thus disowned from the house. And that man's name is Percival Penniless.
Percival Penniless.
This isn't Percival, though.
This is not Percival. He's way too young to be Percival. This man, probably not even 20 years old yet. But he's wearing the colors of House Von Church.
All right, so the boy is dressed like a commoner, like a street urchin.
Yeah, he's just orphan kid.
Okay. So I think we can bring the boy's body up and bury him properly. I think we might want to actually talk to Penniless about his relative here. He's generally been on our side. I don't know what to do with the woman.
Penniless, I think I can already tell you what his answer is going to be. Is that when he sees his dead body, he's going to say, "Good, burn them all down." He says.
That, or he'll put the body on display at the stop box, throw himself dramatically onto it, and weep for the loss of a beloved relative.
Yeah, toss Penniless. We're gonna bring this kid to whatever Penniless's father's house is. Nobles get raised.
Well, his father's long dead. It's his sister is in charge of the house now.
Well, Penniless's sister then. Noblemen get raised.
Not as true as you would think. Very few people actually get raised.
And they don't have any possessions on them other than their clothing?
No, other than their clothing, they don't have anything.
Okay. Well, who wants to take an oubliette?
I'll go down this.
I don't think we should go. I think we should
one at a time.
Go in a team.
Buddy system, yeah.
Buddy system.
Yep.
This.
We'll go
So,
one at a time here then.
Real quick. Is this before or after we left the people by the entrance?
After.
While we were there, cast because I don't want them getting murked by random passersby.
Yeah.
Leoman's tiny hut.
Okay.
So that if we need a place to fall back to, any of us can fall back to that hut as well.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Good call.
The first three, as you're going through these one at a time. So this one, and this one are all flooded to some degree. Depending on where, like, part of something has collapsed, these would be the three that are closest to the actual walls of the bluffs. If rock has shifted or something has crashed into it. But after going down 20, 30, maybe even as much as 50 feet, are flooded with seawater.
Hey, Seeker Florian, one of you guys got breathe water, right?
I've got it.
Excellent.
And Lucius, we're going to take 10 minutes. Lucius is going to pull out his book, whips it open, and cast water breathing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going down on this one then.
So, checking the first one, it's much the same as the others, except it's underwater.
Okay. Can I find anything? Is there any significant, like, is it look like the water leaked in through a bunch of small cracks? Or is there maybe some place that you could make it out to the sea from here?
This one here, it looks like just a bunch of small cracks.
Okay.
Now what? Are we doing this for all three of these?
100 gold.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if nobody else is going to, I guess Lucius and I will buddy system up each of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go under for the next one?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll give you my bag of holding, just in case.
Can you, like, store the water in it? To empty the water?
There's a bunch of stuff in there, so be careful. But if you need something, it's probably in there if you ask, if you try and get it. But it's more if you find anything you want to carry back up, it'll be easier with the bag.
Going on to the second one, it's much the same. It's just an oubliette, just underwater.
Okay. And, nothing of note in there, even with a meager light source.
Nope.
I'll try the third one.
The third one, the water is the shallowest. You have to go down a good 50, maybe 60 feet. And at this point, you do see immense cracks in the wall. They're, with some great effort, a human might be able to squeeze through here. But this is the kind of thing, like, if you get in, you might need Elon Musk to build you a submarine to get back out.
What if you're a 3-foot-tall gnome?
You have a considerably easier time going through, but this is definitely where the water's coming in from, and it's much lower than the other two.
Can I make some effort to get through here until I think I might get trapped?
How long do you want to spend going into this crack?
How long? I've got the 8 hours of water breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll climb back up to the surface of the water. I'll yell up, I think I found a path to the ocean. I'll be back in 10 minutes. And I'll spend 5 minutes.
Spend 5 minutes?
Yep.
Make me an intelligence check.
Yep. And obviously I'm not smoking right now.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much risk would you like to assume for this check?
7.
7. Don't fail this check. Just saying.
I got a 25.
Okay. You spend maybe 3 or 4 minutes, maybe, before you realize there are cracks going in a variety of directions. Some are going downward and become submerged. Some are above the plane of the water line. If you push any further into this, you really run the risk of getting lost. It's impossible to tell what direction you're facing. There are places where you're squeezed in so tight that if not for the water level, you would not know which way is up from down.
All right, so I'm going to head back to the beginning. I'm going to... All right, throw down... actually, I'll have to come up because it's just going to... No, throw down... ask the bag for a pitten and a rope and throw them down. And a hammer. And I'll duck into the crack so that I don't get hit in the head with those.
Okay.
And
I'll hammer a pitten at the entrance and start my way through with a rope.
How much rope?
How much rope do I have in that bag?
Destil, you have water breathing for 24 hours. In fact, everybody does have water breathing for 24 hours.
Even Scrappy?
I don't know if Scrappy needs to breathe, but...
Scrappy doesn't breathe.
No,
50 feet of rope.
Scrappy just likes to be included. 50 feet's not much. You don't get much further than you did the first time. However, with some confidence, you're pretty sure that if you were to carefully map these cracks out or find some way to avoid getting lost, you're pretty sure you could find a route out to the ocean.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put light cantrips on pittons, and I'm going to hammer them when I'm out. I'm going to find a path through that I think, like, I have line of sight to the previous pitten, and I can do 5 of those.
You can do 5, and after 5, I mean, you can look back and see your 5th pitten back there, but you can't see the 4th, the glow from the 4th, and you're not sure how much progress you've made. This is going to be a major undertaking if you want to map all this out.
Is it possible to carve directions onto the stone itself, or do I think those get wiped away too quickly?
It might be possible.
Yeah, let's try that. I've got Smith's tools and plenty of time.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing up top there?
Once this starts taking him some time, I think I'm going to head down there and see if I can help out somehow.
Do you want to, Florian, do you want you and me to buddy up and check the rest of the unchecked? Okay.
Because I've got my own water breathing and my own rope.
Okay. Then let me go ahead and give you quickly what's happening here.
Gus and Florian are just going to go down, check it, and then
empty.
Move on.
This far one here is empty. In this one, when you open up the oubliette and look inside, 2 humanoid skeletons locked in an embrace.
That's fucked up.
Gus is going to he's going to take his rope and he's going to secure both of their bodies.
If you try to attach rope and drag them out, the skeletons are going to fall apart.
Oh, well, like oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to climb up and I'm going to ask to borrow the bag of holding for like 5 minutes.
You're going to ruin the ambiance.
The bones of the bag of holding. Right?
I'm going to put the...
Do you explain why?
There's a couple of dead bodies down there, and I want to give them a proper burial when we leave.
Lucius accepts that and hands you the bag.
Okay, so I'll put the dead bodies in the...
Did you guys open up the flooded oubliettes over here? Did those get opened?
Yeah, I would have opened those.
Yeah.
Empty.
I would have opened the one I'm working on right now, too.
The one that you're working on, well, right now you're working in the cracks. If you open up the oubliette, however, inside of it is a chest. And next to the chest, kind of wedged between the chest and one of the walls of the oubliette, is a long, thin some kind of parcel. It's wrapped up in some sort of cloth. And the chest is definitely waterlogged by this point.
I would have brought those up for Lucius to look at.
Okay. Lucius, you're looking at them both.
Yeah. Is there any? I don't think you have much in the way of stuff. I don't think I actually even have detect magic at this point.
Okay.
No, I don't. So I would have to ask Seeker to do it on his next pass.
Florian can do it.
I can do it.
Or Florian.
If you're not copying it from my book, you should copy it from my book.
The chest is extremely heavy. The parcel is not, though.
But no magic present?
Nope, no magic. Oh, I'm sorry, no. The parcel itself is radiating some sort of enchantment magic.
There's enchantment magic on the parcel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna pry open the lid of the chest itself first.
Pry it open?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me do some quick calculation here. Prying open the chest, inside, rows and rows of uniform-looking silver bars.
Ooh. Trade bars.
A chest.
Gus holds open the bag of holding that he was bringing back.
It's full of bones and silver.
Did you take the bodies out yet?
No, the bodies are still in there. The bodies are in the bag, yeah.
Well, the
Dead
bones,
bodies.
the individual bones are in the bag now.
Right.
There are 80 of these silver bars in this box, in this chest.
Is that much? How much? What's the weight limit on this bag? Is that gonna fit?
Is there?
Destil?
Yeah, give me a second. So it's also got a ton of my stuff in it.
Destil's gonna reach in there and try to pull out some stuff. Just bone, 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 silver bar, bone.
You actually need to take an anatomy class in order to pull out the whole
500
skeleton.
pounds or 64 cubic feet, whichever comes first.
Okay.
64 cubic feet.
You're well inside that weight limit with the bones and the bars.
Femur,
Okay, yeah.
vulva.
I'll let Alexander know that he's gonna have a mess when he goes through that bag again.
Like seriously, there's like 3 toolkits in there.
And what about the parcel?
Yeah, I'll open it up.
Opening up the parcel, and it is a gorgeous. I mean, you would expect, looking at the object in the parcel, being underwater for who knows how long. The state of the chest that is down there tells you that it's probably been down there for a very, very long time indeed. Yeah, open up the parcel. Untouched by time and completely immune to the effects of the water is a beautifully made cutlass.
Interesting.
You can tell that it's elven because it's not immediately apparent what sort of metal it's made out of, which is kind of characteristic of elven weapons from the far, far south.
Who got the pearl?
Yeah, if it's not you, then we'll wait for Seeker to get back up here and.
So, are you guys spending the entire remainder of your time down here mapping out these tunnels?
I think we shouldn't spend more than 2 hours doing that.
So once it takes more than about 5-10-ish minutes, I think though what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide that this is worth 10 gold,
Okay.
and I am going to cast Find Familiar,
Yep.
and I am going to bring out what is the easiest thing that I can use to map this with. I'm deciding between. What do you guys think? Octopus?
Octopus is the most intelligent.
Yeah, I think octopus. And I'm going to have it map it out for me so that we can carve a path that the others can follow.
How is the octopus going to carve a path?
I'm going to carve the path. It's going to explore.
Okay.
Once it finds a path, it can show me the path, and then I can carve it.
Okay. What is the goal? Is the goal here to go out to the ocean yourself, or just verify that you can get there?
I think
My goal was to figure out how to get into here from the ocean.
And what
Yeah,
else?
Go out there, get my head above the water, get a rough triangulation of landmarks, and then when I get back up, then when I'm back in the city, use cartographer's tools to actually work out exactly where I am.
Seeker, do you care if this octopus doesn't come back?
I mean, I need it to tell me where the ocean is. So yeah, I'm
So-
going to be in constant communication with it.
On this trip, in the time that you have here, saying that
Yeah.
you don't want it to take longer than a few minutes, you can confirm that there is at least one path from here to the ocean that's traversable by a human. Some of
Okay.
which is above water, some of which is not. Most of the path you find would be submerged. However, there's no way to mark or map that path with what you have available now. The best you can do is confirm it. The work to make this happen, it's definitely doable, but it would take probably a good 2 or 3 days of work. Doing the surveying, doing plotting from both inside the dungeon here and outside, and then eventually marking the actual path as you make your way through yourself. This is a very large project.
So the surveying, I have a cheat for,
Mhm.
which is my thought was if I can get to the entrance of this to the ocean, I can take a python in my inventory and mark it, and then bury it into the ocean floor, and then later when we come back, I can use detect object to find that python.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can mark the space where one of these cracks opens up into the ocean outside. And it doesn't open up into the ocean. It opens up into a submerged part of the cliff face, the bluffs upon which Dunfoss sits. Here's what's going to keep you up nights. None of these cracks are big enough to fit a treasure chest through.
Are they big enough for a bag of holding?
Probably.
Solved.
I would say that with a lot of work and effort, Seeker and Alex could move through these tunnels with their equipment, but definitely not possible for anybody bigger than them.
Yeah. So we'll have to put the equipment into the bag of holding and then suit up when we get in here if we're ever
Yeah.
blocked from getting here through the actual normal entrance.
What else do we want to do in here?
I have the pearl.
You have the pearl.
Once
Yeah,
you-
I cast
once you
identify.
identify.
Yeah,
Cast
I cast identify on the cutlass.
All right. It is a... You know what? I just, looking at my notes, I realized that 5e probably doesn't have cutlass in its weapon list, does it?
Scimitar.
Scimitar, there we go.
Scimitar, yeah.
So we'd use the stats for a scimitar. +1 scimitar.
Okay.
Oh,
Of elvish
No,
make.
but no.
So it's
No,
definitely
it's also
it's a
whistles.
magical weapon. Oh, I'm sorry, is +1 scimitar not good enough for
No,
you?
no, it's quite.
I was
by all
expecting
means.
like an epic story to go with it.
Well, the
Yeah,
epic
Don't I have
story
to get
here
a vision?
is that it's mastercraft weapon made by elven smiths, which is not something you see very often.
What the hell is
This
it
far
doing
north.
down here?
Good question.
That is.
It fell on the
what is
random loot table.
it? Mm,
No, someone put it here, and I bet. Okay.
Alex just collapses in the corner, sopping wet.
Actually, you know what?
But the chest has
Let's
been
just-
worn by time.
Hold on. I need to look up identify here.
Lucius casts prestidigitation to dry off his clothing. Because
Yeah, you're real upset as Seeker pulls himself out from the water completely dry.
I mean, no, it's less work that I have to do.
Not you. I meant
Yeah.
I meant Alex.
Okay. So, yeah, with identify, all you get is that it's a +1 weapon, and it's made by elven smiths. Which, even if it wasn't a magic weapon, if it like elven weapons, that's a major treasure in these areas.
Yeah.
Dunfoss
So-
officially doesn't they don't like elves much. They don't have good relationships with the other elves on the continent. That being said, elven artwork and elven music still very popular amongst collectors.
Nobody likes elves, but
Nobody likes that.
So, Gus,
Gustavus,
Yeah.
I think you have I think you have a thing.
I'm going to suggest we put a cloth around this, put it in the bag, and not let those two guys see it until we get you in proper sheath.
Okay. It's not a hammer though.
If I can use it if you don't want it.
Nah, I mean, you don't have a melee weapon that you can use.
A
I'm
dagger.
gonna toss this out there. If we need to fight a ghost, Gus, if we need to fight a ghost, I'm gonna need you
That's
to
the thing.
stab it with this sword.
I mean, I can make
Yeah.
your weapons magical, but
Right.
it's probably
No.
better if you just have a magical weapon.
Yeah.
I can make weapons magical in a pinch.
Okay, I'll take it.
Is there anything else that we want to do in the area?
So,
I'm gonna toss that moss cap into the pit.
I just want a short rest after all that
You're gonna go
Why?
rest in the tiny hut.
to spend hit dice.
And then we're gonna go check out the north end.
I don't know. How do you guys feel on that?
I like the plan. I
Yeah,
like
I'm
exploring.
Yeah, if we can take a short rest for me to get some hit points back, I'm perfectly capable of keeping going.
Okay.
mhm.
My spell slots are actually pretty good because I got that.
So let me very
That
carefully save this map.
Sure, because it's got a whole lot of markers on it.
And then open this one back up, because this is where your tiny hut is.
Ah,
All of our tiny dice.
And that's where we will call it for this session. I actually have to get my dinner started. So my wife gets home from work at about 7:15 or so. And the thing I'm cooking for dinner takes about an hour to cook in the oven. So I really should have started
Fair
dinner
enough.
like 15 minutes ago. So I'm going to go do that. And then I'm going to add up some experience for you guys. While I'm doing that, you can consider where you want your blips to land. And I'll be back in a few minutes.
On the table.
Oh,
who's the most creative today?
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and say myself for using darkness to prevent those guys from finding out about the dead bodies.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Who furthered the party's goals today?
That would be. I'm going to give that one to Lucius for trying to further the party's goals. I do apologize for running ahead like that.
Lucius shot a guy and then blamed Alex for shooting a guy.
Look,
I crossed my mind.
Alex had a fucking point, but at the same time, Gustavus is the one who was like, murder hobo.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
There was,
yes,
I mean, there was very little chance that wasn't coming to blows. I don't really blame Gus for
But
that.
at the very least, we could have tried to pump him for information.
Well, I mean, my thought process was get him before he vanishes.
I thought it was a good thought process.
Unfortunately, I rolled a 5 on initiative.
I
Well-
100% disagree with that.
And today was the day I didn't bring See Invisible, but what
Today was
helped
the day
anyway.
I didn't bring Counterspell.
New rule: wizards always have counterspell.
No, absolutely
No.
not.
I can't cast it till like I'm level 12.
Listen, I'll take Counterspell if I can always tell you what you get to bring.
No, I'm just
Counterspell.
like, anyway.
Or magic
Yeah,
mouth.
who's intangible? Or who was a badass today? Who was a badass?
I was gonna give it to Alex for shooting that kid in the chest.
No.
No, absolutely not.
I'm good for giving that to Alex, and if we do, I want to take creative because I thought any opportunity to use an octopus.
I briefly thought like that sounds like a familiar Florian would have. He would just have an octopus.
Just an octopus.
I was just sitting
they
there,
would
and I was
suffocate
like,
and die.
there are 4 people in this party with familiar. Ain't no one gonna bring out an octopus? All right, I got this.
So no. I just can we please draw a line at putting a bullet in a kid's head, please?
It had to be done.
It was his chest anyway.
Fine.
Listen,
We
I'm
still
not
need
happy about the kid dying either.
We still need a badass.
I mean, if that's
Oh.
what it is, that's what it is. But
I'll take it because I was a badass octopus.
No.
I'm going to give it to Seeker for reducing the creature's speed to 0.
No.
That was very
pretty
funny.
good. That was pretty funny. All right, I'm cool with that.
Tangible. That is. So who's gotten what? Just to run through it.
I'm
right.
getting creative.
Yeah.
Lucius is getting party goals. And let's see.
So because I saw it come up in chat here, I had chat open because I pasted our straw poll for the week. So the thing with Raised Dead and why everybody who dies doesn't come back to life, the way the spell is worded is like, let me actually find the actual wording. It says something like they come back if they want to be revived.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So not many people are willing to
Most people who aren't adventurer types don't want to come back because when you die, you go to whatever your religion's version of paradise is. Essentially, whatever outer plane your power lives on, you go to their realm and are reborn as a petitioner. So most people, when you cast Raise Dead on them, the spell doesn't function.
See, my question for that is, what about all the evil people?
Well, that's the
thing.
thing.
Do you really want to be a Lemur?
When you wake up in Beator as a Lemure or something, you have this instinctual need to rise the ranks of the Beatisu. Like, yeah, you're a Lemure now, but in 1,000 years, maybe you'll be a pit fiend, you know? So, the spell works on...
Beator is a nation of embarrassed Lemur... embarrassed pit fiends.
Temporarily... power poor pit fiends.
So... And actually, that's why whenever we cast Raise Dead in the campaign, I always ask the $35,000 question. And we've had a player once say no, they didn't want to come back. They'd rather re-roll. That's actually happened.
Yep.
So
it happened.
That's not to say it'll always be the case with every NPC, with every non-player character, but a better way if you're just trying to figure out what the dead thing knows is to cast Speak with Dead. Because that spell can't fail as far as I know.
Yeah.
You guys want some experience or what?
I'm going to run a guilt-tripping business for bringing people back from the dead. Cast Contact Other Planes to be like, hey, your mom's real sad that you're dead. She misses you a lot. Raise Dead.
That would fail for lots of other reasons. You could actually write an entire D&D adventure around that idea, I think. That would be great. Like, Raise Dead's not going to work, so you have to actually take the pilgrimage out to Mount Celestia or whatever.
You have to convince
find the petitioner, and
convince this guy who basically has a completely different life on Mount Celestia.
Well, because remember that most petitioners in the Outer Planes, they don't have memory of their former lives. Once you're a petitioner, you don't have a strong attachment to the Prime anymore. Adventuring types do have a strong attachment to the Prime, because that's where all the goddamn gold is.
That's not true. There's plenty of gold on Mount Celestia.
That's where all their goddamn gold is.
McDohl, I have real bad news for you.
Real
bad news. I'm so sorry to have disappointed you, but those were not mimics.
No, those weren't mimics.
Mimic.
They were. It's not a cloaker. It's the other one.
Don't worry, the mimics are still to come in this campaign.
They did mimic something though.
They did.
It's not a cloaker. It's a thing that looks like a stalactite. I don't remember.
No,
what its name
that's
is.
a piercer. This was a trapper.
Okay, yeah.
So for the 3 trappers and the awesome ball lightning guy, which came to us courtesy from the Tome of Beasts, obviously.
Of course it did.
And there were 5 of you, so 1,000 experience each from encounters for this session.
1,000, did you say?
1,000 even for the 3 trappers, and the ball lightning guy is called a spark, and they're really insidious. I think the way they're supposed to be used is they're supposed to possess a player character. There's a save associated with that, you can try to resist the possession. I thought it would be more fun if you had to fight the people that weren't able to stave off the possession and kill innocent people. That's way more fun for me.
Yep.
So
if I had known there was a
You're
saving throw, I would have
sadist.
used.
You're
now,
a sadist.
if you only played Final Fantasy VI, you would know there's an exploit to get through the Rexol encounter.
Oh yeah, I know that, but we don't have vanish and freaking whatever.
Y'all rolled
I
up magic
managed.
users. It's not my fault that you got the wrong spells.
We haven't
Look,
given us the espers yet. Rickro.
Not
That was the last campaign.
We're still
I would say that I'm very disappointed in you for killing the child, but that was Alexander.
And Lucius.
Lucius didn't kill
Lucius
the child.
didn't kill a child.
Who did you kill?
The
Penniless's
nobleman.
cousin.
Yeah.
Killing a nobleman. Well, I mean, none of the rest of like you won't hang for that. So division of labor.
All right. Does anybody want to make a case for some blips? No, I'm disappointed you didn't draw in the tiny hut and put everybody inside of it.
Oh, you're right. One day.
Does Gus
I
want to go
guess-
first?
Gus will go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I am going to just claim my ideal. My companions are my support structure, and I must do what I can to protect them from themselves for running up and immediately trying to get Alex out of the. You said they're called trappers.
Yeah.
Get them out of there.
Okay.
And then the video. I don't really have anything else.
And who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Lucius.
I've only got one for you this week. My alignment, lawful neutral. Take your place in society. Work well for your fellow people. Take care of your own.
Okay.
He was right on the edge of turning his Eldritch Blast on Alexander after killing that kid.
Betrayal.
Yeah.
Most foul.
Yeah.
Okay, mildly rotten.
It's
That's all
necrotic.
I got
It's
for
pretty foul.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Because I hope that was noticed that no, Alexander's hex is hexed for strength right now, but no, not anymore. Not after all the exploration and stuff.
Okay.
So I'll go.
Alex.
Lawful neutral, always be willing to take the law into your own hands, but no further for covering up the murder of the 3 people.
Okay.
From the moss cap and the thug, and I guess the gith.
Yep.
Ideal. The dead deserve dignity, the living deserve to reap what they sow, as he's going to be working with Gus to get all of these bodies, including the ones that were killed and the ones that they found, buried.
Okay.
And then Flaw, well, I think we can probably... Oh, Flaw is... I'm sure we can handle this. Look, we can probably just shoot this lightning ball a bunch if it's not in a human.
Okay. And who's next?
I'll go.
Seeker.
I've got chaotic good. Good is only taking from those that can afford it. Chaos is taking them for all they're worth.
Mhm.
For arguing with Lucius that his dad should be paying us something if we're doing work for him.
Okay.
I've got opportunities everywhere, if you can see it, for rather than putting up a big surveying and like figuring out how exactly we can get back to this location, just putting a spike down so that we can cast detect magic on it, or rather locate object on it.
Yep.
And anybody can be fooled except for me for blowing a couple of locate object spells, trying to hunt down where the heck that guy went, and then the second it didn't work, going, well, that means he must have gotten out some other way.
And what does Florian have for me?
True neutral, sometimes you have laws, but laws are also restrictive. Sometimes you have to be good, but there's no way to define good. For not taking any stance whatsoever on hitting any of the NPCs when they were possessed by the spark. And only
Although,
attack.
you did cast haste on a man who then killed a child with a gun. I think that makes you an accessory.
No, the gun's an accessory.
Sometimes you have laws, but laws are also restrictive.
What else you got for me?
That's it.
That's
the one.
Who had the most creative solution to a problem this session?
That was Seeker for.
No, that was
I thought it was
Alex.
Seeker for Octopus.
I
Okay.
thought it was-
Yeah, no, we went with me on that one.
Okay.
yeah, that was Alex for what was it, Alex?
Using darkness
Control.
rather than
Yes,
any fancy
control
trickery
darkness.
to
Yes, yes,
keep
yes.
these guys in the dark.
Using darkness to hide your
Keep them
horrible
literally
crime,
in the dark, yeah.
to hide your horrible.
Here's the
crimes.
thing: is I actually, without looking it up, I actually don't know if Geeks or I have dark visions. We won't know till next week whether or not he knows you hiding those bodies.
We
I know, but
expect him to
I'll
keep it down
be a
low.
surprise.
We'll all find out together. Who furthered the party's goals the most?
That was Lucius for trying really hard to further the party's goals. And then I ran, you know, that's my fault. He
And
didn't
then,
get to.
and then Gustavus went murder hobo.
I did not go murder hobo. I was trying to catch him before he teleported away. But I
It was
rolled a 5.
It was a good plan, Gus. You just rolled a 5. It happens to all of us.
Next time, roll a 6.
Not the guys with magic missile.
What was the most badass action this session?
That was Seeker for whipping
forget
out
what
an
it was.
octopus.
No, it was for something else.
I'm going with whipping out an
Oh,
octopus.
it was getting the creature down to 0 speed.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm still gonna go with whipping out an octopus because I like saying whipping out an octopus.
Look, I like
Please
having
don't
to
say
say it, which is
that.
why I kept disagreeing with you, so that you would say it again.
Please never say that.
We'll award 1 blip for intangibles.
We didn't get that one.
Okay.
Does anyone have anything cool that they did that they want to point out?
Okay, I've got one. Florian for his heroic choice of not making a choice.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Relinquishing all responsibility for any actions.
And Alexander has our poll for the week. So
Why
right
do you
now,
reward him for murdering children?
everybody has 6 blips. Nobody used blips. We had level 6 last week. Is that correct?
I am level 6.
So
yes.
blips are worth 300. So Alex, you've earned 5. All these have to roll over. Alex has earned 5. Florian has earned 2. Gus has earned 2. Lucius has earned 2. And Seeker has earned 4.
I know you just said the number, but what are they worth?
300.
300.
I'm burning a blip to go into next session with level 6 because I'm tired of getting edged over here.
So you're going next session with 5 blips?
Yeah.
Okay.
No more edging.
I'm pretty sure I go to level 6. I don't know how many blips I have to spend yet. Give me a second.
Okay.
I have to spend 2 to get the level 6, and I don't know if I want to do that.
I think I deserve some credit for,
No.
Absolutely.
for having watched Hamilton 2 days ago and then getting through the whole session with a character named Alexander and keeping the references to a minimum.
You did not keep the references to a minimum. To
I
be
did.
Clear.
I very
You
did.
said so many.
I totally did. That was the minimum. That's what I'm saying. I deserve credit for keeping that.
I have to roll over 2 blips to
So
make
you're going
it
in
level.
with 4 next week?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the maximum? Can we hit that before you end the stream?
The maximum? I think it's too late. I didn't break out into the song. How's that?
I mean,
I don't think that's true. Actually, I think you did when we came back from break.
No,
I
came
remember
back
there
from-
being a.
I told a story about the Got Milk commercial.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
true.
I didn't sing about the Got Milk commercial.
I thought I remembered
So-
a Disney show tune, like a few bars.
Oh, what do I get
So-
to level 6?
So at level 6, Lucius, Mephistopheles can lean on my dice rolls once per short rest.
Oh, I get my resonance at level 6.
I get a D10 wiggle die that I can use.
Okay.
I get a 3rd infusion.
Oh man, do I want my resonance?
The thing I got was when I cast a spell that's higher level than 2 or above. If it's a divination spell, I can recharge a spell slot lower than it, which is why my spell slots are actually not too bad.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, it takes a ton of the sting out of missing on locate object, doesn't it?
Uh huh.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 blips to be level 6
Okay, so you're going in next week with 2 blips.
with 4 blips.
With 4 blips, sorry. There we
I'm
go.
going in with 4. I'm spending 2. Yeah.
Okay. Is anybody else spending blips, or is that about it?
Action. Blip. Boing, boing.
I'm very far away from level 7.
I expect everybody is.
I should hope so.
I'm not too far. I'm like, I'd say 20% of the way there.
All right. Then we'll call it there for this week. When we come back next week, is it your intention to send the peoples up when it's safe and then continue exploring the dungeon? Or
Yeah.
I think
I
we're
think
just taking
so.
a short rest and then
we're going right
continue.
back into it?
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for us this week, guys. Everybody else should go watch Hamilton. I highly recommend it.